Hi viewers, welcome to our channel. Presently, we are along with Dr. Karthik Pandurang Jadhav, cardiologist, Apollo Hospital. Hi sir, how are you?
Hello.
And what is heart healthy diet?
So when we say diet, basically it is concerning about our food habits. So all these diet, exercise, our mental health, everything comes in lifestyle changes. So anybody who has heart related problems, they should have lifestyle changes. In that, the most important thing is diet. Diet is the food habits. So one food habit we should remember, that those majority of the heart patients, those who present with heart problems, majority, not all, but majority of them will be little overweight or obese. They will be having some kind of a diabetes, hypertension, or some kind of a metabolic disorders. Metabolic disorders in the sense, there can be some hyperuremia or hyperuricemia or hyperhomocystinemia. So these are some of the defects of body wherein some proteins are abnormally high. So diet also affects these things. So we should be careful as to what diet we are taking. So when we come to diet, okay, according to the heart function, we decide how much water a person should drink. Ideally, if heart functioning is good, we advise the patient to take minimum 2 to 2.5 liters minimum in a day, especially in a belt that is towards the equator where the heat is more. They can have little bit more, up to 3 liters, but only if the heart function is good. If the heart function is little less or heart is little weaker, we have different classification as to how much water has to be drunk, and for that always the patient has to consult the doctor, because based on the medicine dosage they will decide how much water has to be drunk. So once now we come across water, now we will go for proper food habits. So when we say food, so we have something called as cereals, pulses, and then fibers. Then there are fruits, vegetables, and some nuts, dry fruits we can say. Okay, and there is of course non-vegetarian food also for non-vegetarians. Okay, as we have seen, majority of the times the population, there is a trend that people are going towards vegetarianism or veganism. That is in a way healthy, quite healthy for heart patients. But if they prefer non-vegetarian food, there is no harm. We can adjust our food such that it can also taste better for our palates and our taste. So coming to pulses and cereals, of course among cereals, wheat and jawar is quite good. But we should remember that when I talk about wheat, it is not the bakery items. I talk about homemade foods such as fulkas, chapatis, or even poli. In some local languages they are known as poli, and these things are much better than white rice. The white rice what we eat is pure carbohydrate and should be reduced to the minimum, and almost in a day maybe a small bowl of rice will be more than enough. Other than that, when it comes to chapatis or jawar rotis and all that, maybe 1 or 2 rotis at a time for 3 servings, that is morning, afternoon and evening. Usually 3 servings have to be taken compulsorily. You should not skip food to make sure that you lose weight. That is quite harmful and might be dangerous also for the heart. And other than that, when we come to pulses, we should remember that there are a lot of pulses, legumes. These are protein rich in nature. Horse gram, black grams, dals, different kinds of dals are there. These are very, very important, and we should have at least 1 serving of pulses. 1 serving in the sense, at least 1 time in a day, about a cup of pulses is extremely important. This is the minimum you should have. Of course, for some people who like pulses, can have 2 servings at the most. Then other than pulses, we come to vegetables and fruits. So we should remember that some people are in a habit of skipping lunch. So I would suggest not to skip lunch or not to skip any food throughout the day. You should have at least 3 times. If you don't want to have proper food, then you can plan to have some fruits in the afternoon. So as I said, fruits and vegetables, you should have 3 servings in a day. So you can have vegetables in the morning and a bowl of vegetable in the night, and you can keep fruits in the afternoon. So this comes to vegetable and fruits. Among vegetables, ideally all vegetables are good, and you should try to rotate vegetables. Whichever you like, you can have that as more often. Some of the vegetables like green leafy vegetables are quite rich in iron, and they have to be taken. They are quite good for heart. And other than that, we have some routine vegetables like ladies fingers. They are very good and they are quite rich in fibers, which is also again quite important in heart diseases. It is proven beyond doubt that 3 servings of vegetables and a good amount of fiber also helps us to reduce the heart risk for the heart disease. So that is one. Then coming to these dry fruits or nuts. So dry fruits and nuts, we should remember that cashews as much as possible should be avoided. There are some other dry fruits like badam, walnuts or pistas. They are quite good and can be had. You can have it them, and when you have them, make sure that it should be eaten or it should be consumed in a very limited quantity, and per day you should make sure that at least a half serving of dry fruits, if you can have it, it's well and good for your heart. So other than that, coming to non-vegetarian food, in non-vegetarian food, definitely red meat has to be avoided as much as possible. The red meat includes beef, mutton, and all other non-domesticated animals also. They should be avoided as much as possible. Whereas some items such as chicken, if person is interested in chicken, they can have chicken, and chicken at least maybe once in a week can be one serving is good enough. Whereas if you like fish, then that is a very good option for heart, because we have seen that there are many data and there are many studies which show that fish, especially the sea fish, contains lot of polyunsaturated fatty acids which are extremely good for heart, and they can also help in reducing the overall cholesterol levels in your body, which is quite good and can prevent a future heart attack. So these are the ones. Now coming to vitamins and other supplements. So fruits are very good supplements for vitamins, and some of the doctors or some of the hospitals might give some supplemental vitamins such as vitamin B12. Especially for vegetarians, vitamin B12 supplementation is extremely important and should be taken because it keeps our nerves healthy, and also it indirectly helps to maintain our hemoglobin and also to keep our heart healthy. Other than that vitamin, other vitamins like A, E, D, they are quite helpful, but we do not have a direct evidence that when we give an external supplement like tablet or capsule, then there is a reduction in the risk for heart problems. So, but there is a adequate evidence that when these vitamins are taken in the form of fruits or vegetables, they do help and they do reduce the risk for heart problems in the future. So these are extremely important. And along with that, there is potassium. So potassium is available as in banana. Potassium is also available as separately as a potassium salt. It is available in coconut water and guava. So these potassium, when it is to be taken in adequate quantity, it is known to reduce the risk of heart attacks in future. Also, when we talk of potassium, we should also talk about sodium too. So sodium, for a normal person without any heart diseases, it is suggested that up to 5 grams of salt has to be taken in a day to maintain our salt levels or sodium levels in the body. But when it comes to the heart disease, it is very well known that reducing the salt intake a little bit, not too much, but reducing the salt intake a little bit will help in long term to reduce the long term heart related issues such as heart attacks in future. So what is the ideal amount of salt we should take? About 2 to 3 grams, which in Indian food 2 to 3 grams we get it through our vegetables, sambars or rasams, and that is more than enough. But we should try to avoid pickles or papads or dried fishes which contain more salt. So those things have to be avoided, especially patients who are suffering from heart diseases. Okay, so other than vitamins and sodium and potassium, then there are some rare elements such as selenium. So there are some areas in China which are selenium deficient. So such we have seen that studies have shown that such areas, the problems such as heart diseases are very, very common and they are quite rampant. So selenium is also quite important. It is not easily available in all foods, but whatever food we take, usually adequate amount of selenium is guaranteed. But if at all some people think that selenium, some doctors, if they check and if they feel that selenium is deficient in such patients, says selenium supplements are also available.